What's something people don't understand until they've been through it themselves? Nerve pain. Chronic illness and disability. Chronic debilitating illness and disability. How quickly life can change permanently without you doing anything wrong. Struggling without anyone or anything to fall back on. Edit, lots of comments from people that have never truly struggled in life before, my God. That's exactly what this whole thread is about. The rest of you make me feel a little better about my own situation. Stay strong, homies. And LT, 3 asterisk. Cancer. What it really means to go through cancer treatment. Having a disability. Losing a parent at a young age. You're not sad because you miss them. You're sad because you were robbed of ever knowing them. Mental illness. Car crashes. Experiencing the death of someone you love. Living with PTSD. Addictions. Losing a child. Grief. When it's been a while since, it's common for people to say something like, "It's been a few years, move on." It truthfully doesn't work that way. You remember them forever. And even when times after are extremely good and happy, a little part of you is looking in that empty corner. Don't say the move on thing to grieving people. It truthfully is great that you don't relate. Grieving people don't want you to try and relate. They're in the middle of a process that, at least in some ways, lasts forever. Super high stress events. People, even me at times, will say that they will do something or how they will react to a super high stress event. I work in a career where you can be sitting at a table and chatting with coworkers and the next second, you have the largest adrenaline dumps of your life. Lots of people will say they will react a certain way, but most people will freeze if they haven't been through events like that often. I still to this day make that same mistake more often than I'd like to admit. Experiencing the death of someone in your life that is a foundation-shattering loss. Being with an abuser, mentally, physically, or both, and how hard it is to leave. Depression, actual clinical diagnosed depression. If I had $1 every time I had to explain to someone it's not just feeling sad, bro, and can get over it just like that, I could retire. Having a kidney stone. Anxiety, or the anxious feeling of something bad, always feels like it's going to happen, and imagining things before they even happen and not being able to cope. How unprepared you are for a physical fight. Most people way overestimate their abilities. Depression and anxiety. Having real OCD. Burnout is one I haven't seen in the comments, though I didn't scroll far, so. Writer/artist block could be contributed to my previous mention. Imposter syndrome. Phobias, they're pretty irrational. It's why they're a phobia and why some people just don't understand it. Progression in a skill, through sheer willpower to learn. This is more about the people who just straight up have a talent and a skill, like say, guitar. A talented guitarist doesn't understand what a person with no musical ear has to go through just to get to a level that an audience would listen to. Not really depression, but a symptom that can contribute to it. Loneliness. Being alone is one of the worst feelings someone can have, and until the day you're truly alone, you'll never really understand that kind of pain. And the toll it takes on one's mental health is considerable. Working in customer service. How bad toxic people and gaslighting are. The thing about that kind of abuse is that you never feel it like you would physical abuse. I know when I'm being punched, I don't know when I'm being gaslight. Birth. We all know it's hard, but sometimes even the baby books and videos don't prepare you for what could happen. When I had my son, my placenta adhered to my uterine wall. resulting in me nearly bleeding out. When my water broke, it was all dark blood. And when I got to the hospital after my water broke, I stood up and immediately heard a splash and a huge pile of dark red blood pooled on the floor beneath my feet. I had to have a C-section after being in labor for almost 2 days and failing to progress. And on the table, they tried pulling it out just a little and I felt everything. I started bleeding out and they let me see my son, and I was told that there was something wrong with my placenta and they had to put me under. I was intubated and given iron transfusions and blood transfusions over a 2-week period on top of healing from a C-section.